Well, welcome to everybody. My name is Jade, or go by Jaydigains, and we are here with Chris, who goes by Terrible Hime. We are both fitness
Hello.
streamers. Hello. We're both fitness and variety streamers. We've been streaming for almost the same amount of time. You started a couple months before me.
April 1st is my 1 year stream anniversary.
Ooh, ooh. That's exciting. So Chris and I wanted to do another little chit chat because we had so much fun in the last one, and we have so many things to talk about. So we wanted to talk about TikTok, which I'm a
Hmm.
complete noob at. I just joined TikTok. It's a lot like Reels. Reels and TikTok are the
No, it's
same
the
thing.
same thing. No, well, TikTok came out and then Instagram is like, fuck,
Uh
this
huh.
other social media platform is trying to do a thing. So then they made Reels.
Yeah.
So I
Okay.
feel like most people will just make their TikToks, post it on TikTok, and then download the video and then stick it in the Reels. And that's what I do. I don't make anything specifically for the Instagram Reels.
Yeah, it seems like okay, I'm glad that I'm not crazy because I noticed that and I was
Yeah,
like
anytime anyone tries to do something, Instagram tries to copy it. So like we have the Instagram stories now, they're
yeah,
trying to copy Snapchat.
that
But
was
now
Snapchat.
Twitter is trying to copy everyone else and do their fleets, which are so
Right.
stupid. I think they're annoying, but
I don't use them
yeah.
and I also am annoyed that they exist because for content creators, it's
Yes.
like, "Oh, well, fuck.
Yes.
Now there's another social media platform that
Yes.
I have to create
Yes.
content for that people expect." And it's
Mhm.
just a monster like being a content creator and
Mhm.
like dealing with social media is just the most annoying thing in the world. I don't know. I've talked to some other streamers about like how do you handle it. And one other like online coach that I really like, Joe Duncan, was like, just pick one. Just pick one and milk the shit out of it. And then another, like Dipped in Poison, who's another streamer here on Twitch, she was like, just pick two. Just focus on two. So that seems to be like the way to go. Is
Oh, I
just
love
like,
Dipped Poison. She's so good.
God, I love her too. She's just the best to like listen to. She's got like a very nice, like soothing voice, and her stream is just like
Yeah.
really
Gorgeous.
calming. Yeah, and she's beautiful as fuck. Oh my gosh, her eyes. She has heterochromia too. I got my
Yeah. Hers is like one of her eyes is two different colors, right? She has like one blue and one that's like green and brown.
yeah, yeah,
Whereas you have like one green and one kind of hazel,
yeah. This
right?
one's more brownish. I'd say hazel though because it's got a little bit of green in it. But it's so the difference is so slight, like you can't tell unless you're really looking for it, you know?
I think you could tell better if your photos were maybe brighter.
Gotcha. Yeah, I need to work on lighting. Lighting is a struggle for me. Were we talking about
Yeah.
on my stream or your stream yesterday? Somebody brought up now Facebook is doing dating. Like there's a Facebook
I
dating
It
thing.
might have been mine.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I don't use Facebook like at all. I have it because sometimes people message me and
Yeah.
obviously like my parents and stuff are on it, so I try to like keep up with family sometimes,
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
I absolutely hate Facebook. I used to have like a Facebook fan page for like my cosplay stuff and it just like I would get like the worst, like most annoying messages on it. So I deleted it. But then I found there's a way that you can post on Instagram from your computer. There's like a Facebook creator dashboard that allows you to post directly to Instagram from your computer. But you have to link your Instagram account to a Facebook page. So I had to make another one and I just completely ignore it. But I'm
Yeah.
still really mad that I had to make it.
I find Facebook to be just the worst. It's like
Facebook needs to stop. Facebook needs to know its audience, which is like older people trying to share stuff
yeah.
that nobody else likes and just like stick with that.
Right?
And
they've
yeah,
lost they've lost the younger generation. They the
they've
generations.
completely,
They've
yeah,
lost us.
completely lost it. Like
Because they're such a
let
grimy,
Facebook live its life.
yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then work on Instagram maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, younger people do use Instagram, but even then, like it's not like I have kids who are clients of mine that like are in their teens and they don't really use Instagram so much. They really go to YouTube or Snapchat.
Still use Snapchat. I could never get into Snapchat.
I couldn't either. I'm not a fan. I have a Snapchat. I just don't use it. Facebook has
Mm-hmm.
become a contest who can argue. Oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah. It's definitely that's what I don't really like about Facebook is it's just so toxic, especially like around anything political that's going on. It just becomes a
Mm-hmm.
place for people to air out their grumpiness about
Mm-hmm.
whoever they think
But at the
is.
same time, it's very easy to find out who you know that's like really shitty.
It's true.
I had to unfriend a whole bunch of racists that
Yeah.
I had no idea were racist. Called her
Yeah.
racist. I had see ya. Thanks for letting me know that you're a dick.
Yeah.
Bye.
Right? Yes. That's been very revealing. And just kind of like seeing like, oh, okay, well there's a reason why you're not in my life anymore. you know. It's super weird because like I'm pretty vocal about my position on racism and I'm very liberal and so I don't hide that. And I also now, especially because of Twitch, like I think Twitch has helped me a lot to just like stand in my beliefs and like I'm not going to entertain. This is not the argument that we're going to have. This is just who I am. If you can get down with it,
Mm-hmm.
awesome. If you don't, then move along. You know, like you don't have to like. I'm not here to have an argument with you. I'm here to connect with other
Mm-hmm.
people. It's just I started just like shutting that stuff down and people on faith like shutting that stuff down the way that I would on Twitter on Twitch, which is like, hey,
Mm-hmm.
if you want to have that kind of argument, my Facebook page is not the place to have it. So I'm going to remove your comments.
Mm-hmm.
And people on Facebook, they're so entitled that they're like, oh, this is censorship and
Oh my
like they
God.
deserve the right to post bullshit on my page. And
Go
it's like,
post bullshit on your own page, bro.
exactly. Like I'm responsible for my own content and I'm not going to let this.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just fun. That's why I just like kind of stepped away from Facebook because I was like, listen, this is just like silly pointless arguments all the time. Nobody's going to change anybody's mind, okay? So
Honestly, honestly.
no, no. So how did you get into TikTok? When did you start doing TikTok and like why? What kind of brought you into it?
I just think TikTok is really fun. Like I wish I could dedicate more time to it because I just think it's really fun. And I think the videos are really fun, but I like watching funny stuff. I like watching like makeup tutorials. I like the cooking videos. I like cosplay things. Like there's so much on there that I'm just like, yes, like I'm vibing with cute animals.
Yes.
And so I just kind of like casually started making some small TikToks. I don't post every day. I don't have the time,
Right.
but I try to post every few days, like if I can think of something funny or like educational that I can make, or just
Mhm.
maybe I had a really good makeup day and I want to show it off. I had a couple TikToks that like blew up a little bit, like considering how new I am, and it kind of like boosted me a little bit, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've always really struggled with Instagram, but I find that it's easier for me to grow on TikTok. Maybe I just have like more niche look or appeal that
Mhm.
people on TikTok like better. I'm
Yeah.
not sure.
I don't know. As far as all social media goes, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. like, I'm trying to like do like a lot of it is just copying what I've seen done and I like, and then just
Hmm.
like adding my own spin to it. I think that's what a
Yeah,
lot of social media is, to be honest.
it is.
Like,
Yeah,
you
I
know,
agree.
yeah. And it's
Sometimes it's
weird.
even just about like using the right hashtags.
Yes. Yeah.
I think
Which is,
I think that's especially true on Instagram.
yeah, for Instagram, I use hashtag expert, which is like an app. It's like a subscription app you pay for. Like it's I can't remember how it's not like expensive. You type in a hashtag that you want to use, and it will give you like 29 related hashtags that are popular, so you can kind of like try to attract more. Once I started
Mhm.
using that, I started growing a lot more. I still just kind of feel like with each social media is like it's kind of like a video game like that has its own rules. you
It
know?
definitely does.
Yeah.
It really does.
Mhm.
And even with Twitch too, which
Mhm.
is like a type of social media. You know, everything it's different across like all platforms. Like I've always struggled with Instagram, although I'm doing a little better recently, but
Yeah.
my follower count goes up and down and up and down.
Mine
Twitter,
too.
I've always really struggled with. I'm just like not that witty. I just don't really have anything to say. So like I share pictures, but I think Twitter is good for like when you have opinions about things. And I just
Uh,
like if I have an opinion about something, I usually just message my friends about it, you
yeah.
know? And then
Same.
the TikTok is like all videos, and then Twitch is I don't. It's like it's difficult to navigate so many different ones when they're all so very different.
Yes.
You know,
Absolutely. Yeah. Like I struggle with Twitter too because it's like Twitter is for sound bites, but in written form. So
I would agree. Yeah.
I think that it's helpful, and this is something I started doing with my coaching business, because it's something that I've seen a lot of other coaches do, is like
Hmm.
you have to kind of like sit down and figure out what your like core message is, you know, and like all of the little core messages that kind of like attach to that, and then just like I put them all. That's what I was working on. Like that was like last month's big project was taking all of my messaging that I've everything that I've written in like emails and blog posts and social media and YouTube videos over the last 3 years, and putting it all together in like one big document, and like having it be like this. These are my what's it called? These are my messages. This is my core messaging. And then from there, I was like, oh, I have everything I need to make a client handbook, so that when I get new clients, I can just like have this is all the information you need to know to be successful in this program. And then from there, I'm just trying to like farm little sound bites and stuff. But it's a lot of work to get there. It's like you kind of have to
It's a
like,
lot of work, bro.
yeah,
It's a lot of work. I mean, it's a lot of work. I'm telling you. And we're the same, obviously. Like I have a full-time day job, and you have your personal training business, which you probably spend more than 8 hours a day doing.
yes.
You know, probably more than 5 days a week,
Oh
right?
gosh, every day. I need to get better at that.
And then, yeah, on top of that, like I'm streaming typically like 4 to 6 hours, 5 days a week. You're probably pretty close to the same because you do
Yeah.
the workout and the video game stream.
Yeah.
It usually will take me an hour to make a TikTok,
Yeah.
depending, half an hour to an hour to make a TikTok. I'll
Right.
probably spend like half an hour to an hour. And this is not even like the content creation part. It's just like me actually getting my photos together, putting some shit in Canva, sometimes writing things out, figuring out what kind of hashtags I want to use, like on Instagram. That's another like half hour to an hour. And I
Yeah.
try to post daily on Instagram. And like I said, that doesn't include like the actual like content creation, like trying to go take some pictures, or for me, like making a costume or like doing a photo shoot. And for you, it would be like curating from your handbook or your
My
programs.
tutorial videos, exercise
Yeah,
tutorial videos,
tutorial videos
so much
or
video
pulling
editing.
clips from the stream.
Kilo Charlie was like, didn't realize making a TikTok took that much time, bruh.
It depends on the kind of TikTok, but
Yeah.
it can be time consuming, right?
Do you,
So if you're doing one where you're just like reusing old pictures, like that's not that bad. But if you want to try to get it synced up to the music, that takes more time. The app is
yes.
not intuitive. It's difficult to use, and I also feel like it's a good idea to put captions on things. So
Mm-hmm.
like put the words that you're saying, like type them out for people that either have don't have the ability to hear or are listening on mute or watching TikTok on mute. And that's really fiddly and annoying and takes a long time too.
Yes.
That's why TikTok is easier to grow on, because there's so many more watchers than there are creators, because
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of annoying to actually make TikToks.
Yes. Yeah, I've started to notice that too. I just like initially like threw up a bunch of like clips from my gaming streams, copying basically what Sweet Tails did initially, because she's another female streamer that I adore and I love
Mhm.
her so much. I was just like copying her, and then I started copying you because like I don't know what to do. I don't know, like
No, I mean that's basically what TikTok is, and like most of the stuff that you see me do is things that I've seen other people do, and I'm putting my own spin on it. That's basically what TikTok is. It's kind of weird. It's very like hit or miss. Like sometimes
yeah,
I'll have thousands of views, and sometimes I'll have like 100 views exactly. So it's very weird, but
yeah.
TikTok is
Like
wild.
I'll just keep copying you. I'll just keep doing you. You're the fearless
Yeah,
leader here.
I think it helps to like have a niche.
Yeah.
And I know that for me, like if I wanted to do better on TikTok, I would have to probably do more cosplay stuff. I
Mm-hmm.
just don't really have time to like get my ass in a whole ass costume.
Right.
Yeah, it helps when you do have like a niche.
Yeah. Oh, Kilo wants to know what some other female streamers that inspire us or that we adore. We mentioned Dipped in
Deep in
Poison.
Poison.
Yeah, I can actually shout them out.
She's a
Poison.
just chatting streamer. Sometimes she plays video games, but not very often. But she has like a really strong community,
Yes.
and she's like real talk, without being shitty.
Right.
I love the vibe.
Me too. And she's also another LGBTQ plus um,
Hmm.
streamer, and talks about that a lot. I love her message. I love her stance on gender and sexuality. It's a very LGBTQ friendly place. Very nurturing, very
Hmm.
kind. The thing that I admire about her too is like she a lot of times will be very patient with people who genuinely don't know and need some gentle correction. She doesn't like go like all like bitchy on somebody unless they're like deliberately a troll.
Yeah, and you can usually tell when somebody like doesn't understand and when somebody is just like doing stuff just to get a rise out of people.
Exactly,
And
exactly.
she always handles it like really well.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there have been times where she's like, I guess, gone off, but it's not even her going off is really just talking very, very quickly and roasting someone, but in a very intelligent way, just like calling out
Hmm.
the roots of their, ideas. Another one that I really love is Moon Squid Inc. She's,
Yeah, she's good.
oh my God, I love her so much. She is so positive and over on her stream, she's doing art, so you're just like kind of hanging out with her while she's painting. She's like got a comic book. She's making a children's book. They talk a lot about mental health over there. That's a huge thing for me because we were talking about on your stream last night, like
Hmm.
how many people have mental health problems. I think
Yeah.
I actually would venture to say like most people have mental health
I
problems.
would say also, like the thing that we were talking about yesterday is somebody was saying, I think that female streamers that show a lot of cleavage are especially susceptible to mental health problems because they are like putting on a persona
Mm-hmm.
or doing this to make money with their body. And I was like, I don't think it really has anything to do with that. There are so many women and men also that just have mental health problems and it has nothing to do with the way they look. And for women, especially, whether you look good or you look bad, you're always subject to like criticism, people trying to tell you what to do, how to look, what to wear, how to live your life, and
Yeah.
that leads to a lot of problems. So yeah, we had like a big discussion about it yesterday, and I was like, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna say I was feeling some type of way, but I'm just like, why are you like equating this with this person's profession?
Right. I think
Yeah,
I think that like Joey also kind of I could tell that he was feeling some type of way too because he was like
yeah,
really making some awesome points and I think it's like awesome that you and Joey have such an amazing relationship that's so to be looked up to. I know like not every
yeah.
relationship is perfect. Of course there's problems always cuz two people are two people, but like one of the things that I love about your relationship is how much of a champion for women Joey is. And
Yeah. And I will say, like, a lot of problems that women struggle with, I don't really struggle with. Like, I don't really have mental health problems. I don't have like body dysmorphia. I never had an eating disorder. In general, I've never really had that many issues with my body.
Hmm.
But Joe struggled with all of those things. So he really like feels a connection. He really understands
Yeah.
where a lot of people are coming from. Like when we talk about those stuff like mental issues, he's bipolar. He's not medicated right now. He's got depression, he has anxiety. He did have an eating disorder when he was a teenager. You know, people sometimes come in and they ask me about these kind of things, and I'm like, I'm going to defer to Joey because he's got
Yeah.
more experience. People have said that they really appreciate that they can come
Yeah.
in and like we can talk about these issues,
Yes.
and they feel heard, and they like that, you know. And it sucks that that happened and he feels that way, but when other people come in and we talk about it, they feel like they're not the only one.
Yeah.
You know, they don't
Yeah.
feel alone.
Yeah. Kilo Charlie says, that's nice to know because I have depression and anxiety. Every day is an uphill battle. Bruh, I really do think, like, I do feel like at least half the population has some kind of mental health issues. Like, I mean, I also have, like,
I would say more, just like
more.
undiagnosed, like they think
Yeah.
they're okay, but they're not.
Yes. Yes. And I feel like those are the people that are, like, the ones you got to be careful of because, like, you can totally live with like high anxiety, you can live with bipolar disorder, you can live with
Mhm.
whatever disorder, as long as like you're self-aware, and like you're responsible, right, for your own gains,
Mhm.
like you guys say all the time. As long as you're responsible for it, and you can be honest about it with like the people in your life. But like the people who
Mhm.
just like want to bottle things up and push things down and ignore the problems.
Or they turn to substance abuse,
Exactly.
alcoholism.
Right.
Like they're hiding their other issues with
Mm-hmm.
other things.
Right. Oh, Chrissy says mental health is the true, less acknowledged pandemic. Absolutely. And the thing is, like, one of the problems of like why it's not talked about, and I don't remember where we were talking about this before, but like, like our parents' generation and their parents' generation were like raised with this idea of therapy and psychology as like very much from the, oh shit, I can't remember the name of but the idea that like your problems are all have to do with how your parents raised you. And
It's
that's,
it's not even like that. It's so wild. It's
yeah,
it's absolutely insane to me because
Freudian psychology. That's what it is.
yeah, so obviously I have a brother. I don't know if anyone, I don't really talk about him that much. We're not that close. I have a brother. He's like almost exactly 1 year younger than me. We were obviously raised the same way. We have the same parents. My parents never got divorced. And I just said like I don't have many issues with mental health. He's got insane issues. He's
Yeah.
got ADHD, depression. He was going to therapy all through childhood.
Mm-hmm.
I found out later in my life that he tried to commit suicide
Wow.
with, I think, painkillers.
Mm.
So, I've never suffered from those issues. So, like, how, when we were raised in the same household, very close in age, like, how do you explain that? Like, it
Yeah.
doesn't, bro, it's not, sometimes it is, but it's not
Yeah.
always about, oh, your parents raised you this way. No, bro. No, bro. Mental health has a lot to do with like biology and
Mm-hmm.
chemicals and your
Yeah.
brain trying to fuck you up for no reason.
Right. Yeah, there's so many things. And then like even if you were raised with like a healthy attached, I'm really interested in attachment theory, because attachment, and relationship therapy, because we've talked about before like my family history with my great grandma having been adopted off of a Seminole reservation, and being raised in a wealthy white family's home. And then, basically she and her brothers were household servants, indentured servants essentially, and how that kind of like fucked with my great grandma's sort of idea of self, and then the way that she raised my grandma, and the way that my grandma raised me, or raised my mom, and the way that my mom raised me. Each generation has tried to, like, kind of heal that trauma of like that experience of being sort of like taken out of, basically sold into slavery as children. and sort of like trying to fit in with the white culture. And by now, my brother and I were like, we've mixed, our families mixed with white people so much that my brother and I don't even look Indian. But like, we were raised with that sort of like crisis of
It kind of like back
self-identity.
to your mind, you know.
Yeah, and like there's
And
just like this concern with like fitting in with white culture that I definitely like empathize a lot with minorities, because even though I don't look like a minority, I was raised with a minority mindset. And
technically you are 1/8.
yeah,
Technically you are.
yeah,
1/16 is when you are not,
yeah,
right? Isn't that how
yeah.
it works or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, so it's just it's something that has affected us, and every generation has tried to help the next generation to raise them with a better self worth. But it's like, we all have been struggling from the time that we were children to love ourselves, and to feel like, a part of American culture, and it's just like a weird
White America.
white American culture. Exactly. But like, and the thing is, like, there's traumas with that we were raised with, all generations going back to my great grandma. Even if like you have like a super like secure attachment in childhood, or if you were raised like perfectly, nobody is, but even if you were, there's still like traumas that can happen to you that don't have anything to do with your parents,
Mm-hmm.
that can really fuck you up. And
Yep.
so like the resistance in my family that I've seen to therapy and psychology is like, they think that it all has to do with like, oh, how I failed as a mother. It's like, oh, you're going to therapy because I am such a bad mom. That's the idea, that like, it's like, if I am in therapy and I talk about it, that's immediately the assumption that they will like go to, is like, oh, you're in therapy because I failed as a mother. Because their idea of therapy is like that Freudian psychology, that like everything that is fucked up about you goes back to how your parents raised you, which certainly how your parents raised you is a huge part of your psychological
Yeah,
makeup. But
definitely.
like, it's not all, there's things that have nothing to do with my parents that I've experienced, that I need help figuring it out,
That have really impacted your life.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of a, I think mental health as a taboo. Yeah, it's something that shouldn't be, because most of us are mentally ill. I think of it sort of like, as like, we all get a cold at some point in our life,
Hmm.
many times, probably every year. And I feel like mental health is the same way. We get sick in our brains the same way
Yeah.
that we get sick in our bodies. It's not something that's like permanent for a lot of us. Now, some of us have chronic mental illness where, we
Hmm.
have to deal with bipolar disorder or depression and anxiety as a constant thing. But I think it's something that all of us experience more or less from
Yeah.
time to time. Most of us, I should say.
Totally agree. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy that you don't suffer from that so much, because I think it's really great for people who do have like anxiety or whatever mental health issues. It's good to have like a buddy or a partner who's a little bit more stable, because sometimes I don't know, it's tricky, because it's like it's good to be with people who understand the
Yeah.
struggle and
Yeah.
can empathize, but at the same time
Yeah.
sometimes that can be a problem, because then
Yeah.
the anxieties
I
fuel each other.
Yeah, I never want to be that guy that's just like, well, if you're sad, just stop being sad. Or like if
Right.
you are depressed, like just get over it. Like I never want to be that guy. I try to
Mm-hmm.
be like as supportive as I can, even though a lot of the time I don't have like the same problems. And I'm gonna be honest, I think it's because I just don't think too hard. Me and my one single brain cell, we don't worry about too much stuff. As long as, the gears are turning and the things are working, I don't like worry too much about things. And that's a privilege that I have. I have a pretty secure job. Joey's job is pretty secure. We have a steady income. We have like a nice house. Our cats are not having any health issues.
Yeah.
So it's great for me
Yeah.
and my mental health. And I try really hard not to have existential crises for no reason when I don't need to. And I know some people can't live that way.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just get in your head about things.
Yeah, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. It sometimes sneaks up on you and you don't even realize because it's just like a habit of thinking is to like pick at yourself.
Hmm.
Like some people, like, well, if they have like a scab or something, will just like pick at it and they can't help themselves. That's what I
Yeah.
think for a lot of us,
Yeah.
like anxiety is like. You just can't help but like pick at your own brain and just like pick
Yeah.
until you're
Keep thinking
bleeding.
about it. It's like you're staying up at night and
Yeah.
just like you can't put that thought away.
Yeah, yeah. And it's yeah, but I mean that's what therapy is for, it's what medicine is for, and a lot of people are able to manage their anxiety and depression through like a huge, number of things. I do think that the way that modern life is structured, it fuels mental illness because,
For
and
sure. Oh my God, definitely.
because like our
Definitely.
bodies are made, our bodies and our brains are made to live like in the savannah, of Africa, in the wild. We're supposed to be moving a lot, like foraging for food. We're supposed to be like moving around a ton, climbing trees, walking many miles on most days. And now we spend most of our day sitting still in front of a screen or like our
Yeah.
computer and
And it's not just that. Like social media
yeah.
is so terrible for so many people's mental health. It's like
Hmm.
so bad.
Yeah, and I think it's like we've talked about this before. There was a person who had contacted me about like they were sort of like spiraling into a mental health mess. Looking at, there's a competition that was going on, and people were posting their gains, and this person was saying like that everybody posting their gains was making them have anxiety and depression. And we talked about that a little bit, and it's like, well, you with social media, it's just like food. You have to be responsible about what you're consuming, and these algorithms are going to
Mhm.
continue to feed you what you interact with. So
Yeah.
if there are
Yeah.
things, if there are, and you also have to know like when to step away, because like
I agree.
if you have an issue with like jealousy and envy and like you're looking at people who are doing well and that's how it makes you feel, is makes you feel envious or jealous and you feel negative and then that sends you into a spiral where you're like picking on yourself, then don't fucking do it. Don't fucking look at
Yeah.
those things.
Unlike unfollow, bro. Unlike
Right.
unfollow.
Step away.
That's not you. That's not on them. Just don't look
Yeah.
at it.
Exactly. Like not everybody can be nobody can be responsible for your mental health. And
Yeah.
like the more that you interact with, the more that you like, the more that you comment on things that you don't want to see,
The more it's gonna show up.
those are
That's
going
how
to
social media works.
exactly.
Yeah.
For me, I figured that out after my latest breakup, I guess a half a year ago on Instagram. I just was like following all of these like self care and like post breakup, sort of like women's empowerment type of text posts where it's like, sis, if he wanted to, he would. And like all of those kinds of things. And now, like, I'm doing pretty good, but like I'm still happy that I liked all of those things and I saved a bunch of them into like this little self-love bookmark so that when I was feeling really sad about my breakup, I would just like go and like look at all of those saved bookmarks that are all like, self-love and
Yeah.
everything, and like also kind of like had it, dealing with a breakup kind of stuff. And I still
Yeah.
get those kinds of posts shown to me today, and I'm like, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and so
Totally.
and then also like I also save a lot of business. I save a lot of business stuff, entrepreneur stuff, like, encouragement stuff. And, it's like, oh, I
Hmm.
like this ad. I like the way that they laid that out. So I'll save it so that I can copy it later. And so a lot of my Instagram, when I'm just like browsing for myself, when I'm not posting for my business, I'm just browsing for myself, it's all like empowerment and motivation and encouragement and
That's awesome.
fuck toxic fuck boys, and that
Yeah.
kind of thing. And I just like I love scrolling through it over my coffee in the morning, like setting my mindset like, yes, I'm a bad bitch. No, I don't need no fuck boy, and yes, I'm gonna make $1 million in 5 years, and so the thing is like because those are the things that I interacted with,
Uh
and
huh.
so that's what it's going to show me more. The other thing is like if like seeing people doing well on social media makes you feel a certain way, I think that that's a call to action, honestly, because you got a fucked up mindset at that point. If your mindset is you don't like to see other people doing well, and so you want them to stop doing well so that you can feel better, that's a sign that you need to do some shadow work or go to therapy, work with a therapist, because that's a toxic mindset. And it's not just toxic to you, it's toxic to other people. Because if you carry that attitude in your approach to social media, you probably have that attitude in the other relationships in your life. And I have definitely experienced that a lot, because I work my ass off to build my business, and I still am not where I need to be. And I'm working very, very hard. I'm busting my ass, and I treasure friendships like ours and with the rest of the community that we've built up, because everybody is like, yeah, I see you doing the thing. Keep going, Jade. You got this, And I so need that. But there are some people that when I interact with them and they know me from like high school, or they know me from college or something, or even members of my family, and that's actually the hardest, is the members of my family being like this. They'll be like, their immediate reaction will be to follow up the positive of like, oh, I see you doing all these things, and they'll follow it up with a negative, and they'll immediately make it about themselves, and they'll turn it into a pity party. They'll turn it into a pity party, which is like, woe is me, you're doing so well, and I just blah, 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 and I never blah, 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 blah. And it's like, you don't fucking know how fucking hard I work, and you don't know how much I sacrifice to get where I am, and I still am not where I am. Like it's just it's a selfish mindset, I think. Like to have to follow up other people's success or the results of their success with this, oh, now I need to make it about me and how like pity party me. That mentality I can't get down with. And I know that a lot of it has to like springs from mental illness. Yeah.
Sometimes people are just selfish assholes.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, the reason I say it's selfish is because like it's hard work. A lot of like the products of excellence are there because of like blood, sweat, and tears. And the person that you see who's like doing whatever the thing is that they're doing, like whether they're like an athlete or they're like an entrepreneur, like they probably have what looks from the outside to be like this, like, whoa, amazing, like you got it together. If you like actually scratch the surface, that person is a fucking mess on the inside, and they're very insecure, and they're very scared, and they're very, it's like you're not helping when you bring people down like that. When you see somebody excelling and working really hard, the proper response is, good job, keep going. That's what you need to respond with. And if you can't respond that way, then keep your damn mouth shut.
Yeah. My thing also is like, if you wanted to talk to me about your success, you're like, oh, hey, Chris, I just booked like 5 more clients today. I'm like booked solid. This is amazing. And I'd be like, hell yeah, Jade. Like, I don't want to like bring down your hype by being like, oh, but today I fucking stubbed my toe, Like,
Right.
If I wanted to talk to you about what's going on, whether it's good or bad, for me personally, like I don't need to try to rain on your parade when you're feeling like really great about yourself. Like if I want to bring something up, I would just bring it up at a later date. Like
Yeah.
if you like, and friends should be able to do that,
Right.
talk to people about whatever. It doesn't always have to be like the good. Sometimes you need to like vent. Sometimes you need some nice words when you're having a bad day, but like, you don't have to be like, good job, but my day has been shit.
Yeah. And that's good friendship skills. That's good relationship skills, is like, like somebody was saying, time and place. Exactly. Like, yes, Kilo, time and place.
Read the room, bruh.
Read the room, bruh. Because like when someone is feeling strongly, whether they're like super excited about something or they're feeling super
yeah, it's also
upset.
the same way. If somebody comes to you and is like, oh, my mom had to go to the hospital, she's like really sick, she's in a bad way, and you're like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that, but today I found $100 on the floor. Like,
Yeah.
read the room.
Right.
That's not cool either.
Yeah, that's not cool either. But the solution to this isn't demanding other people to change because you can't control it. I don't agree with that, Sergeant Joe Duck, because I think, especially as women, we should demand that the people who are in our lives treat us with a certain level of respect. And we should be able to call out behaviors that are not helpful or that are toxic, or remove those toxic people from our lives. There's no reason for me to spend time with people who are toxic. Like, I don't owe that to anybody, even if they're a family member. If someone behaves in a toxic way, I'm gonna bring it up to them and I'm gonna be like, listen, when this happened, it made me feel this way, and I don't appreciate that. In the future, I would like you to do, and then give them an alternative of how they should behave. And they have the opportunity to change their behavior. If they don't change their behavior, I'm going to remind them one more time. And if they still don't change their behavior, they don't get to vibe with me again. They don't get to spend time with me. And it's like, listen, I don't have to spend time with you. I have very limited time. I'm a very busy woman. So the people that I choose to spend time with, they better be on point, and they better be supportive, and they better not be toxic, because I don't have time for toxic people. And I don't care who that person is. I could be married to that person. If that person doesn't change their behavior towards me and I don't address it, then that person no longer gets to vibe with me, period. I don't care who they are. And that's something that women are told a lot of times, to just shut their mouths up and just deal with it and just accept it, and just, you can't change people. Yeah, you're right. You can't change people, but you can decide who the people are that you allow in your circle, who you spend your time with. And I'm not going to accept anybody in my inner circle, the people that I spend the most time with, who act toxic. They can be in that circle for years, but as soon as they start acting toxic, they don't get to spend that much time with me anymore. They don't get that time with me. And I'm not going to budge on that. That's not an argument that I'm going to have. Totoro gave you the cutest mustache just now.
She did, I know.
Let's talk about him. He's like the least toxic person I know. He's kind of like the most perfect.
No. He's super toxic, dude.
No.
He's super toxic.
No.
He does this thing now. He's so picky with his food. So we have been giving them wet food for years, because Mafik had an issue with dry food, and he was getting crystals in his urine, and he had to get surgery.
No.
So we give them wet food. But lately, I think it's all the treats for the cat boys. I have to mix in a little bit of like dry food with Totoro's wet food, or he won't eat it. He's being such a brat lately.
Uh-oh. So he's not wanting to eat the wet food?
Like, he will eat the wet food, but I gotta put something crunchy in it too. Otherwise he won't. Like, he'll like look at it and then he'll just walk away. So I've been adding just like not even a full like teaspoon of like dry food, just like a little bit of dry food, and that's the only way to get him to eat food. And I don't know why he's acting like that.
Totoro.
And then he's so needy during the day sometimes, and just like won't let me work.
It doesn't sound toxic. He sounds like he's a growing boy who needs love and affection and crunchiness in his life. Blame the people who keep over tipping for the treats. Don't at me, bruh. Don't at me, bruh. Sheik agree. Totoro needs his yummy yummies. He needs his snacks. Just like Rufus needs his snacks sometimes.
I mean, I think there's a limit of 3.
Yeah.
3 snack redemptions. But
at the same
I don't
time,
know what his deal is, really.
You guys do be giving them more than 3 snacks, though. Like when we give the cat boys treats, you guys will give them...
Maybe I should give him less.
Just 1 treat, or like 2 maybe. But it was really cute when you guys had them walking on the treadmills, though. Or the treadmill.
I know. We should do that some more sometimes.
See, that's the way to work it off. That's the way to do it, is to,
Well, Totoro is very skinny, because he doesn't want to eat his food unless he's got crunchy bits in him. Mafik, on the other hand, is always trying to eat Totoro's food.
Mafik!
So he does need it.
I love that Totoro is here right now. It makes me so happy. Because, like, he hasn't been hanging out with us in the gym streams.
I know he doesn't like the sound of the weights.
Oh, that's fair enough. He's got sensitive baby ears. Dude, can we talk about, oh God, I was so excited. I know that I signed, or I said that I was leaving before you got that massive raid last night.
Oh my
And
god.
when I was about to jump into the bath, and I actually stayed on a lurk because it's just like so fucking excited for you, dude. You had like
Yeah.
130 viewers at that point.
It was Ellen V. Like if you don't know Ellen V, I can type
Oh
her
yeah,
name
let's
in the
shout
chat.
her out. Another female
Like
streamer to
that.
follow.
Yeah, amazing. The
Let me see if I can. Let me see if
like
I can.
strongest female gamer on Twitch, and she's did really well in the first and the second Twitch powerlifting meet. I don't usually get a chance to like watch her stream, but she is absolutely killing the game. Partnered,
Oh, is she?
Instagram, TikTok. She is partnered, yeah. She brought like 100 something of her community over to mine yesterday, but not a single troll. Can you believe it? Not a single troll.
That's
And
amazing.
it was crazy. And she was so sweet. She was so sweet.
It sounds like she
And
does a really good job of
yeah,
controlling the trolls in her
yeah. So
community.
she does fitness streams as well as gaming streams, and I think some IRL stuff too.
Hmm.
She's not American. I can't remember what country she's from, but she was a soldier in the military. She was a circus performer,
Oh
a
wow,
power lifter. I think she's a personal trainer now.
good for
Super
her.
strong
I love it.
and just like amazing.
Yeah. Oh, she's from Sweden. So your son,
There you
can
go.
you flex? Yeah, that one. I actually borrowed a lot from you in terms of like the what's it called, the channel point redemptions, because that's something that I was
Hmm.
getting a lot is like flex. And
Yeah.
now we have actually two things. There's the chat command that will bring up a clip of me flexing like towards the beginning of my
Yeah.
fitness, or towards the beginning of my Twitch journey. So I'm like at what, 22% body fat there, and I definitely don't have the muscle definition that I do now, but it's like, deal with it. If you want to flex, want me
There
to
you go.
flex on
Good enough.
command, there it is. And then there's also the channel points redemption, which is a great way to kind of troll the trolls
Yeah.
back. Is be like,
I
well,
also tell people like if you want me to flex, bro, $10.
there you
Donate
go.
$10 right now,
That's
and
a good
I'll
one.
throw down. Otherwise, you got Joey. That's it. There you
Yep.
go.
Yep. Terrible Hue is the reason I have the hairdo redemption on yours. Her makeup one inspired it. Oh, nice.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Yeah,
I
herp derp.
don't. You know Herp, right? He's got like
Mm-hmm.
super long
Yes.
hair. I
Yes.
think we made him do like Sailor Moon hair one time. It was pretty funny.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, so like the channel point, that's a good one, is also to be like, yeah, donate $10 right now, and then I'll do a flex. I'm gonna
Yeah,
steal that one.
ten
That one's
dollars, 1,000 biddies, or you can just sit your ass in chat and get the channel points and use those. And
exactly.
then normal people, some people will be like, "Oh no, never mind,"
Yeah,
and
right?
leave. And then if other people keep pushing it, then we just ban them.
Yeah, yeah, that's what Shinka Green said. We tell them channel points, they still want to flex for free. Yeah, and then they get
Yeah,
banned. It's like,
but I mean, that's how you get it for free, bruh.
yep,
Use your channel codes. You just gotta sit there. That's it. You don't even have to watch. Put it on the back,
yep, just
and you
lurk.
just have the tab open.
Yeah, there you go. That's one of the unique things that we get as female fitness streamers is the criticism for the way that we dress. Not that either of us have much cleavage to show, but but I love that you will go to bat for other female streamers who do have the boobies to show. Listen, we're pro boobies around here, around these
I'm
parts.
telling you. I'm telling you. I was in a streamer's. I don't want to name names. I was in a streamer's chat one time. Like I was watching their stream, and they were talking about somebody on Twitch that was in the health and fitness doing yoga, but was being like very sexual about it, and they were kind of shitting on them. And I was just like, if they're doing something wrong, why didn't you report them? And he was like, oh, I watched for an hour, but they weren't doing anything wrong, so I couldn't report them. And I was like, then why are you talking shit, bro? And I was like, you're shirtless, right? You're not wearing a shirt, and you did that on purpose because you get more views, even as a man. You
Hmm.
get more views if you're an attractive man without their shirt on. So like where do you get off like criticizing a woman using her assets to get views
Yeah.
when you are doing the exact same thing. It's just that it's more socially acceptable for men to be without shirts.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm just like,
And
bro, you need to recognize yourself.
right. And the thing is, like, even with the cleavage showing, she's still wearing more clothes than you, bruh. You know, that's the thing that gets me. That's the thing that gets me. Is these guys, like, there's so many male streamers out there wearing teeny tiny shorts, shirtless. Look, I'm not complaining. I love it. Okay, I'm just saying. I'm
Yeah,
just
no
saying.
tea, no shade. No tea, no
No
shade.
tea, no shade.
But
I love it.
don't try to throw tea and shade at other people.
Yeah, and then a lot of times the people who are criticizing the females for having cleavage and like wearing a sports bra and little bitty shorts, they support those male streamers going with no shirt and wearing teeny tiny shorts. So it's just you don't have to. I don't know. It's just like Joey was saying
And
last
my
night.
thing also is the criticism comes because they think that these women using their bodies to get views are stealing the views from them or
Hmm.
are making the Twitch community like a bad place. But if somebody is watching this sexy lady do something in a sexy manner, do you think those people really want to watch you with your male body doing whatever the hell you're doing? Like, it's not the same crowd. They're not taking away your viewers. You know, it's literally, you're not comparable at all. It's not your audience.
Right.
So get over it and get better.
Yeah. It's always though I think people who are on like the lower level, maybe less successful, that are going to complain most about that kind of thing. Lift with Jim was in my stream a couple streams ago, and this person was coming in. Oh my god, this situation. So this person, so you know, like I practice Brazilian jiu-jitsu and mixed martial arts. And part of practicing mixed martial arts, part of practicing jujitsu, is you get submitted. You submit other people, and you let them
I
practice
was
submitting.
there. I was there. That person was wild.
Yeah,
They were like, I never tap out. I would never tap out. I'm just like,
you're an idiot. You don't know what the fuck you're
no
talking about.
wonder. I can tell. Where did all your brain cells go? They died when you got submitted.
Yeah, yeah. So listen, this person. So for people who weren't there, there was a person who came into the chat and was asking me questions about jujitsu. And we have other people in my chat who practice jujitsu. And Lift with Jim, I think, is a black belt. He teaches, or he's a brown belt. He's one of those. He's a teacher, so he fucking knows his shit. I'm just a practitioner, and I love it. I'm just a fanatic, I suppose. But anyway, so this person was like, "Have you ever been choked out?" He asked me if I'd ever been choked out, and I was like, "No," because usually in practice, if somebody sinks a choke in, I tap before my lights go out because that's what you're supposed to do. And he was like, "Oh, so you quit?" And he said, "I would never tap. I would never give up." And like I was like, but then he
This
wanted
shit
to.
was wild.
It
It
was
was
weird,
absolutely
and he wouldn't let
wild.
it go because I was like, that's not really best practices. If you practice jujitsu at all, you would know that like you need that's just part of practicing. Like you should always
Yeah.
roll with people who are below you and let them learn from you. You should always practice with people who are at your level so you can kind of learn together, and then you should practice with people who are above you so that you can learn from them. Like that's always, you should have that. And then getting submitted is just part of the journey, you know. And it's
Mhm.
just this person like kept like, what irritated me was that like when we talked about tapping, he would always like insert like, "Oh, so you give up." And it's like, bruh, you don't know anything about. And he's like, "Well, I've won 3 or 4 fights." And Lift with Jim was like, "I
Okay,
highly
bro.
doubt that. I doubt that." And I was like, "Yeah, I doubt that too." And this is one of the things that I love about gym life and what I love about martial arts is how like philosophical it is. It really gets you to like understand life better. And one of the things that he said was, empty vessels make the most noise. And I was like, bruh, whoa. Right? Like, that's so true. And I feel like that just like sums up all trolls. It sums up all trolls. Like, they're empty vessels, so they make a lot of noise because they don't really have much going for them. They don't know what the fuck they're
They got
talking
that one
about.
thought. It's like, if I had my thing and I just put one thing in it, it's
Yeah.
that one thing rolling around in their head, and that's it.
Yes, exactly. They're one single cell. Wind blows loudest past the empty jar. Exactly. That guy was insane.
There you go.
I don't know what the deal was with this person, but
It was weird. No, I was there, and it was weird. And I'm not sure if that person actually practices jujitsu or not.
I don't think I think they maybe have like maybe once or twice. I think that's one of those people that like maybe stepped into a
Maybe they
dojo
got
once.
lucky once or twice. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, you sound like those like meatheads that will like go in like tough guy meatheads who like go into a martial arts gym and they're like, let me fight your biggest guy, let me fight your toughest person. And then they pair him up with like a tiny little 90-pound gal and she submits him in like 2 minutes, you know? Like that's the kind of person that guy was. I know for certain the dude was not very deep into martial arts, we'll say. Because if you have any experience, even if you're only a white belt and you've only been a white belt for a few months, you know that that's just not part of the attitude, you know?
Yeah.
That's not the journey. Yeah. It was weird. What's the weirdest troll that you have gotten?
Yesterday we got somebody that was into vor, and they came in and they were like, "Can you shrink me?" and then basically just eat me, and I was just like,
What?
it was weird. Yeah, it was weird.
Wait,
It was
hold
very
on. Can
strange.
you explain to me what is vor? Like, what does that mean?
It's some kind of weird like eating fetish. I don't really know that much about it.
Okay.
But that's what everyone was saying. They were like, "Oh, this guy's into vor," and I was like, "Okay," but it was very
Oh.
original. It was better than "Show Me Bicep." It was better than "Let Me Lick That Butt, Girl." So I was like somewhat intrigued,
Right?
just like kind of wanted to ask them some questions, but they definitely got banned immediately. But that had never happened before. That was a little strange.
That reminds me of one that I got the other day that kind of I was intrigued as well. Because normally with these trolls, they come in and they say the thing, and you're like, oh, okay, here we go. And you just kind of like have to wait to actually ban them because they have to, you gotta like, kind of give them a warning and then depending on how bad it is, their comments are. But like
Yeah.
this person came in and said something thirsty, like they were thirsting. I don't turn down compliments, like if you want to say something nice, I appreciate it, but then
Yeah.
there's actual thirsting, there's reaching, and you fucking know the difference. Like we all know the difference. And so at some point, I was like, we don't do that here. And John is in the box, like piped up at the same time. And he was like in chat, we don't do that here. And so this person said, okay, bye. And then left. Or no, I think he said, okay, I'll leave. That's what he said. Okay, I'll leave. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. We didn't have to ban him.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't have to ban the person, and I was like, can you give lessons? Like, can you teach these other trolls how to act? Like that was like, well done. What a gentleman, you know. Um, and sometimes it happens. It happens. I imagine trolls look at streams like a menu. Ew,
I don't
ew.
like that. That sounds. I mean, you don't sound. It doesn't sound wrong, but I
No,
also don't like it.
yeah, it doesn't sound wrong, but it sounds wrong. Hercules says that he or she, they love all the cool figurines behind you. So these are,
Yeah.
explain. These are not Gundams.
These are not Gundams. No, these are anime figurines. All of the ones in this shelf are from the anime called One Piece. It's a very long anime about pirates, basically.
Ooh.
Like most of them are actually all of the same person. Like I can't like from here over is all one person. It's all my favorite character, but they're basically just like plastic figures.
Did you
Most of
paint?
them are pretty cheap.
Did you paint them, or did they come like that?
No, I bought them. Most of them I bought in Japan.
Oh, very cool, very cool. You do so the Gundams are like smaller and different figurines. What's you have to explain to me the difference. Like I don't know
Okay,
so
so
much.
like these are figures of like people, and Gundams are robots.
Okay.
And typically the ones that I do are very small, but they can get pretty big because I like the small ones because they're simpler to make. They are giant like fighting robots that people use for battling and fighting like in the future. So like in the anime it's typically set in the future
Mhm.
when people from Earth have started branching out into space, and there's typically like disputes between Earth and then the people that had migrated out into space, and
Mhm.
then they start using like these giant robots to like fight each other as opposed to like ships. Like, there are still ships and stuff, but it's more like one-on-one battle, I guess. And they're like huge in the anime. They're like huge. There's actually in Japan, they have made life-size Gundams that are huge. Like I've seen one of them, and it's probably like a 3 or 4 story building tall.
Oh wait,
It doesn't
do
like
they?
move
Oh,
around
does okay? I
like
was
it
about to
moves
say,
in the
does it
show.
move? That would be
Yeah,
amazing.
it moves a little bit. They have two. One of them is stationary and parts of it move and
Okay.
lights up. And I think the other one actually can move more, like
Mhm.
move his arms and legs, but it has to be like hooked up to like scaffolding and like power and stuff. Like in the anime, they are like self-powered. They just move on their own,
Yeah.
kind of. And
Well,
usually the pilot is inside of it.
dude, I feel like Japan is like a sci-fi nerd's like playground. Like it's like amazing. I don't know a whole lot about modern Japanese culture. I know a lot about pre-World War II Japanese culture, like feudal Japan culture, because I studied it for like a comparison to Iron Age Crete and development of the city-state. But like today, I would be lost in modern day Japan. I don't know what it's about. I don't know anything about it. So what's your favorite thing about Japanese culture?
I mean, it's anime. Like I straight up, when Joey and I go to Japan, we eat and we shop for anime goods, and like that's about it. Like 100%. Like I don't care so much about tourist attractions or like historical things.
Hmm.
I'm kind of just 100 there for the anime, but I do appreciate like being surrounded by Japanese culture. It's very different from America, and I have been to other places, like I've been to Hong Kong, I've been to Istanbul and Turkey. And I went on like a cruise where we hit a couple different European countries. I've been to London. I would say the only place that I had significant culture shock was when we went to Japan.
Oh,
And it was like very different. Like everyone's respectful and quiet. I don't know. It's difficult to explain, but for me, like I really like it. I really like
yeah.
it. It hurts my soul when I see other tourists, like American or European or even Chinese. There's a lot of Chinese tourists in Japan, just like acting a fool, being like
Mm,
loud and obnoxious, and so, yeah, I get
yeah.
really bad secondhand embarrassed.
Yeah, I have heard that there's a huge emphasis and value on harmony. I value that myself as an introverted, also kind of OCD person. I very much value harmony. I think I would like to go one day. I've never heard somebody travel to Japan and come back and be like, I hated it. You know, everybody that I know who has traveled to Japan has been like, it was amazing. You know, it was so cool. So I'm down.
The food, if nothing else, the food is amazing. Like if you like Japanese food, and even if you like, I know you like desserts.
Yes.
They have tons of dessert places. The food is so good. Joey and I don't really eat fancy. Like we would go to like a nicer sushi restaurant, maybe 1 or 2 times while we visit. But typically we'll just go into any like ramen shop, any kind of like smaller restaurant, and the food is to die for. Like I
Yeah.
can't eat sushi for like 6 months when I come back to the US, because even like the shittiest sushi you get at like the shittiest place is better than the sushi at most restaurants in America.
I
And
love
it's
sushi.
crazy.
I love sushi,
Yeah.
so I probably would eat only sushi the whole
But
time.
although I think you would like the culture as well. It's just like
Yes.
it's very soothing for me, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. I've heard
Everyone just like minds their own business.
ah, that sounds amazing. Like people just minding their own business and it being quiet.
Yeah.
I love that. I
Hmm.
love it.
If you walk by construction areas, they have fences all the way around it, high fences, and there's a sound meter on the fence. In their construction, they don't go above that sound meter
What?
ever. Yeah, and then typically, even like when not that much is going on, they will usually have one of the workers outside, like directing people, just like, okay, we're doing stuff here, like just walk on that side of the sidewalk. Like yeah, it's really different.
Organization,
Hmm.
harmony. This sounds amazing.
Courtesy.
Courtesy. This sounds
Hmm.
amazing. Whereas here in the
Yeah.
US, people like go down the road blasting their fucking music so that you can hear it 5 blocks away. And there's so much noise pollution in the US. So much noise
Yeah.
pollution. And I absolutely hate it. I live basically in an old folks community. All of my neighbors are old. Almost all of my neighbors are old. There are a few young families, but it's very quiet, it's very peaceful, it's very harmonious. People mind their fucking business and it's nice. I am like you, I'm very social on the internet. And I do have my social time, I have my social places. But when I come home, like I need harmony, I need quiet. It irritates me so much when we have like the people who work in the yards and stuff come with like the leaf blowers. Oh my god, it irritates me so bad. I fucking hate it. It irritates me so bad. I'm just like, shut the fuck up. So I feel like I would be at peace in Japan. Maybe I shall settle there. They would never
Well,
accept
the
me.
problem is Japan is very expensive to live in,
Uh,
and you end up in a very tiny apartment.
gotcha.
It also like depending on where you live. Obviously, if you're in the city, it's not super like dog friendly because it's like there. Where do you take your dog?
Gotcha.
It's all street and stuff.
Yeah, that
But
makes
when you
sense.
go, the farther out from the city you get, the harder it is for people that don't speak or read Japanese.
Oh,
Like inside Tokyo, it's not that hard to get by. A lot of the signs and stuff are also in English. Not a lot of people speak English, but like,
mm-hmm.
they'll have English menus or menus with pictures and like you can get by, but the farther out from the city you get, the harder it is to
I see.
get by without knowing the language.
Japanese really hate to bother people around them. God, I wish Americans were like that. Americans they're just like, this is what I want to do, and you're gonna have to deal with it because freedom, you know. And that's you just got to deal with it, you know. Your neighbor's favorite pastime is leaf blowing his yard. That sounds
But my neighbor, they will mow their lawn every few days. It's very weird. Like your grass does not grow that fast, dude. It's very strange.
like every 2 or 3 days. Ugh, that would
Yeah,
irritate
it's
me.
weird. I think they're just bored because of the pandemic. Just love doing yard
Ah.
work for some reason.
Well, what else are you gonna do? I guess they could plant some flowers or something.
Spend time with your children, bro. They got kids. Just go
Oh,
spend time with your kids. Do something. I don't know.
right.
Grass does not grow that fast.
You got to run the mower to keep it in shape. That's what he's doing. He's just keeping his motor in shape. Oh my gosh. I think we covered everything that we had planned on covering. What do you guys think? What do you think, chat? Do you guys have any questions for
Any
Terrible
questions
Hime
from chat?
and me? Minnie says he has a question about sausage ramen. What kind of sausage do you recommend?
Any kind, miniature action Jesus. I love chicken sausage because it's lower calorie. But like, if you like a sausage, it probably tastes good in ramen too. I'm just saying.
Ramen is one of those things that you can kind of add anything that if it tastes fine by itself, it probably will taste good in ramen.
I wouldn't say I have a preferred brand. It kind of depends on my mood. But I would say get a real Asian brand. Like don't get like cup noodle from the Walmart or whatever. Get
Yeah.
like something that actually tastes good.
Yes. Tips for first time pet owners. What kind of pet? I can speak for puppies and dogs. Routine. I think that's actually true for cats too. Like establishing a consistent routine early on is really important. Yeah, even for cats, they know their routine. Like feeding them at the same time every day and then doing the same kind of
Yeah,
activities every day.
I would highly recommend feeding your cat at like a certain time rather than just leaving food out for them all
Yes.
the time. And like set up like a time for breakfast and like I don't depends on when how much you want to feed them, like a time for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That will help keep your pet from like waking you up at like 5 in the morning,
Yeah.
when they have a schedule. Stay on top of keeping the cat litter clean. I would probably recommend emptying it every day or just like scooping out the clumps. When you start to let it accumulate too much, they will start going other places, you know.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
they don't want to walk around in their own shit.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to walk around in your own shit. So
Right.
yeah, they start going other places. For cats, I would get some kind of like a scratching post
Yeah.
and encourage your cat to use that scratching post. Otherwise, they might end up scratching your furniture. Like we have scratching posts, but they still claw up some other stuff. Like my chair. I don't know if you can see it.
They
My
love to
chair is
claw
really clawed
leather.
up, but yeah, if you have leather furniture, you might want to like cover it with blankets and stuff.
Yeah.
They like carpets too. They won't like destroy the carpet unless you let them keep going at it the same
Hmm.
place. Cats are gonna throw up.
Yeah.
Get some cleaning products. They're just gonna do it. They just do it for no
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah.
Sometimes the hairballs and stuff. It's just like a thing that cats do. So
Yeah.
get some cleaning products.
Even if you brush them consistently. Oh, I remember when I had cats, because I'm allergic to cats, we would use a brush called the Furminator, and it's really good at getting the extra loose fur off, to reduce allergens and reduce shedding. So the Furminator, I highly recommend it. And if the cat is young enough, you could also start to train them on a harness if you want to like be able to give them like some
Yeah.
outside time. I used to do that for my cats. We'd give them some outside time. I actually had like this cute little mesh tent that I could put out on the porch and put them in so that they could like sit outside and be
Yeah.
outside, sit in the sun, because they really liked being outside. One of them, Cookie, she
But
could
it's
totally be
not
by
so good
herself.
for them though.
Yeah, to be
Like to
outside,
just
it's
let them go out.
yeah. Don't
Yeah.
do that because like they'll kill and eat random stuff, and also they
Might
could
get sick.
might get sick and hit by a car or something like that. So like if you harness train your cat or your kitten like that's a good way to you can also like take them out. It's like on a leash or something.
If you're getting like a kitten, like spend time with it. Like
Yeah.
honestly, I think that's one of the reasons like our cats are very lovable. Is because we spent a lot of time with them when they were kittens. We would play with them and hold them. Get your cat some enrichment toys. Getting your cat toys, and playing with them, enrich their life, makes them happier.
Yeah.
It makes them more lovable. If you are able to, I would say like maybe try to get friends to come over and introduce your cat to other people, and it will help like socialize them a little better.
Yeah.
So like Mafik gets a little scared of people, but he usually warms up pretty quickly. But Totoro loves people. He loves people. Joey's best friend that lives up the street, they have 3 kids, and I think the youngest kid is like 3-ish. And Totoro will come right up to her and like let her pet him, and it's like really cute. So it's like nice to have a cat that doesn't just like run scared whenever somebody comes over.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, and Fantoon said give them boxes to squish in. Very important.
I don't know what it is with cats and boxes. Cats do love boxes.
They love boxes, and you don't have to buy them a fancy box. Just like when you order something from Amazon, be like, this is the cat box now. And then you change it
Yeah,
out every time you order something. You change it out,
yeah.
then they got a new one. And they love
Totoro's
it.
favorite toy is like I just took some old fabric and I braided it up into like a long rope, and that's like his favorite thing. He loves
Oh my
playing with
gosh.
that. I didn't have to buy anything. I do the thing where I shake it
Yeah.
around and he starts jumping around, but he like just drags it up and down. Like he brings it upstairs at night, and then sometime during the day it makes it back down to the first floor somehow.
He's so cute. He's such a good boy. Void boy.
Yeah.
Cats like feeling sneaky. They do. They do.
So,
Rufus also, he's,
take lots of pictures and lots of videos so you
yes,
have like kitten pictures to look back at when they
yes,
get a little older and you can
yes.
remember how cute they were.
Yeah. It's also really nice always to like look at old pictures and videos of your pets when you're like feeling sad and stuff. Even if your pet
Hmm.
is right next to you, I still like to look at old videos and pictures of Rufus. He's been the same size since I got
Me
him, but
too.
I
I like to remember I could literally when we got them I could literally like hold them. They was like as big as a Chipotle burrito.
oh, so cute. Rufus also likes to play with a lot of cat toys. He's very cattish because I think because of his breed, he's a dachshund and rat terrier. He has a
Hmm.
lot of like cat-like behaviors. I have wand toys. He loves wand toys. He doesn't really play fetch, kind of like a cat. He likes to go after the wand toys. We even have like that you know that circle toy that has the ball on the inside and they can like bat.
Yeah, that moves
He
around
loves
on
it.
its own.
He loves it.
Wow.
He's basically a cat dog. He's here right now. Are you gonna do pet time? What a good boy. Yeah, he's a good boy. Oh, oh. I'm sorry, I just bonked his head. Oh, here he is. It's the boy. He's the little puppy
Good
boy.
boy.
Yeah, he's like basically a cat. He likes to snuggle in the blankets. He likes to hunt small animals. His body count now is is 3. I think he's killed 3 moles that I know of during our walks.
Somebody killed a mouse like last week and left it, and we literally have never seen rodents in the house, and I have no idea where this mouse came from or who got it. And it was wild. I was surprised. It gave me a fright because I was not expecting to see just like a dead mouse on the floor.
Where did they leave it?
They left it in the basement, like right at the bottom of the stairs in the gym.
Uh huh.
And like I saw something on the floor while we were streaming, and I was just like, it's probably
Oh,
just like
there.
I don't know, some bullshit they picked up somewhere. And then
Yeah.
at the end of the stream, I walked over and it was like a little dead mouse.
Oh my
I
god.
was just like I literally have never heard, like when you have rodents in the house, you hear them scuttling around
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you find droppings. I've never ever, no idea where it came from. They don't go outside.
I wonder if it like came in from somewhere or maybe snuck in while the door was open. Yeah, we've
Maybe it came from the garage. Sometimes the
oh
garage
yeah.
door doesn't shut all the way.
Yeah, that probably was it. Cuz like usually if it's because like something in the house is, like open to them, you'll get more than one. Usually you'll get like 2 or 3. Clearly
Yeah, I
Joey's
mean, I've been
doing.
keeping my eye out just to make sure, like, I don't see
Yeah.
any droppings, but so far
But it's
nothing.
it's good to know that if it happens that your cats are going to take care of it for you.
They
Cheaper
are.
than pest control, that's for sure. Unless they have a lot of medical problems. Yeah, those are expensive.
Pet insurance, Sega Sun.
Pet.
You
Oh
might be able to
yeah.
get you might be able to get pet insurance through your company.
Mhm.
I would look into that. I do trim his claws sometimes when I remember it.
Yeah.
Mafik is very good about getting his fingies trimmed. He like you have to hold him, but he usually doesn't like try to pull away. Totoro does not like it. I usually wait until he's like sleeping, and then I try to get like 1 foot at a time before he like fully wakes up.
That's smart.
And it works pretty well, yeah.
I am really bad
So
about
yeah,
trimming Rue's
I
claws.
would if I would recommend doing that also. Keeps them from scratching. Like they'll still scratch stuff, but it won't be as damaging. But like when they do that kneading thing, it doesn't hurt as much.
I am really bad about trimming Rue's claws. because he hates it so much. I have to actually put a muzzle on him just in case because he will like use his mouth to try to stop me. And like it's not like
Hmm.
he's gonna like really bite down and like ferociously rip my hand apart. He'll like try to pull my hand away from his paw. So I have to like muzzle him. It's awful. And so like I have to like give him some peanut butter, get him in a good mood, give him some anxiety medicine or
Like,
not
you
medicine,
try to
but
do it when he's sloppy. You
oh,
try to
he
do
would
it when
wake
he's like,
up. He would wake up so mad. He would wake up so mad. It would scare him because that's the thing. It's not even like me
uh,
holding his paws. It's the noise that scares him. It's the kind of click that it makes. And I've
hmm.
tried this like very quiet nail file thing that you just stick their finger in and just and it files it down. But the noise bothers him and scares him even worse. And so, yeah, it's this whole thing. He's such an anxious little butthead. So I need to do that actually today if I can. I think it's worse since he tore a claw last winter or the winter before that. It was last winter. He tore a claw and it was bloody and it got infected and we had to take him to the doctor and everything. So ever since then he's definitely very anxious about his claws getting messed with. You know, that was a traumatic experience for him. So,
Yeah.
yeah. A girl I know spent $8,000 to cure her pet dog. I can't do that. I can't do that either. $8,000 is a lot of money.
We had to spend a lot of money on Mafik when
Yeah.
he got sick. The
Oh, the urine
urine crystal.
crystals.
Yeah, it wasn't $8,000, but it was pretty expensive. I will say the reason we did it was because one, he was very young and he had a very long life ahead of him, and the procedure was pretty much guaranteed to fix the problem. You know,
Yeah.
we will change his diet and then the procedure, he should not have any problems after that.
Yeah.
So, like, we felt comfortable. We're going to correct this thing this one time. It's expensive, but, we
Yeah.
have the money. It's not like we were going in debt because of it. And that's why we were okay spending the money. If he had been like a much older cat, or if it was like a reoccurring problem that
Yeah.
he's gonna be suffering like his entire life, like we probably would not have done it. But like for those reasons, we were okay with like spending the money. And you have to realize if you're gonna be a pet owner, it can be expensive, and that's why I
Yeah.
do like, especially if you're getting like a younger pet, think about getting pet insurance because it can
Mm-hmm.
help you if something does come up. And typically it's not that expensive month to month, especially if it is like if you have like an older pet and you're trying to insure them, it's probably going to be more expensive. But if you have like
Right.
a young, healthy animal,
Yeah.
it shouldn't be like that expensive.
I don't have insurance for Rufus, but I need to look into it. But I wonder how that would work for him because he definitely has like anxiety. And he probably should be on pet Prozac or something like that. Especially if I do go back to like working outside the house, it probably would be very helpful to have something like that.
Have you tried
Um,
like CBD for pets?
Yeah, and that sort of kind of works. I gotta find something that I can use consistently. And that's not going to be super expensive. We also, I mean, he hasn't really had issues. I haven't had to try it during quarantine because I'm here, and he doesn't experience a
Yeah,
whole
you're
lot of
home all
stress
the
while I'm
time.
here. He can be bored while I'm
Hmm.
here because he wants me to pay attention to him, and I'm working. But I mean, that's better than him being like shaking and scared and sad that I'm gone. Let's see. Do you
Yeah.
guys have any other questions? I got about 10 minutes and then I got to skedaddle because I have a healthy diet live lesson I got to teach and get ready for at 1 p.m. for my clients and subscribers. That's going to be on Vimeo. So if you are in the Discord, you get a link for that in the subscriber only section. What is I've been thinking about this. Your job, you do mostly like writing, right? Writing for
So,
your work?
so, so my job title is deals writer.
Okay.
And I work for the company is called Wirecutter. It's owned by the New York Times. It's kind of like consumer reviews.
Uh-huh.
Basically, the testers and the editorial staff does research and testing for products across different categories, and then they like write articles about it. So it could be something like the best dishwasher for most people,
Mm.
or like the best web camera, and they have like other kinds of stuff, but that's mostly what it is. And I work on the deals team, and basically we look for sales and discounts on the things that are recommended in the articles on the website. And as the deals writer,
Oh.
like I write like just a small blurb about like why this is a good deal and like a little bit about the product. So like
Oh.
technically I'm a writer, but I'm not really a writer. I did not go to school for writing.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm actually that good at writing either.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like something that's very flexible though. Like you can like when you're doing your work, like do you have to like sit there for like hours and hours and hours and hours?
My schedule is like a normal 9 to 5. I work 7:30 to 3:30, and
Oh.
it's not super time sensitive, but it is like beneficial for us to like work kind of like a normal office schedule,
Yeah.
because stuff like Amazon deal of the day and sales go live during the night, and we want to try to post it on the website in a
Yeah.
timely manner.
Yeah.
So like, technically, like it is like flexible. I could kind of do my job anywhere or anytime, but it just like it's better to be kind of on a normal office schedule, and it's better
Right.
just like to be cohesive with the rest of the company,
Right.
so that we're not like having to go to meetings with other departments at like odd hours.
Yeah. Like so this kind of like goes into what Crucy asked, which is how do you balance Twitch with your other endeavors and how do you see or want Twitch to go? I think having a schedule, like you were saying, like that's so helpful. And even though I'm not working for a company, I work for myself. I've talked about this before with somebody else who's a personal trainer. Having set work hours is so important when you work for yourself or when you're a content creator, because it is like a gas will contain whatever container that you put it in, it will fill. So if you don't put boundaries on your content creation or you don't put boundaries on your work, you'll never stop working. You'll never stop creating. And even if you love doing it, it's still going to burn you out, you know? So for me, that's always my constant struggle is like keeping my work within the boundaries. So like what I did, at least with my clients, and I'm able to keep to this, is like I have like an alternating schedule where like on Mondays and Tuesdays I work afternoon to evening. So if you want to work with me in the evening one-on-one, you got to choose from a Monday and Wednesday. If you want to work with me in the morning, you got to choose Tuesday to Thursday, and it's first come first serve. You know, I'm not going to reserve a slot for people who aren't paying for that to reserve a time slot consistently. And I now have it set up on my website where it has like my available hours and you just book from whatever's available rather than having to go back and forth with clients where they're like, can you do this time? And then I'm like, no, I can't. I got to do this time. And you go back and forth because like
Hmm.
if you just like let your clients just like dictate your schedule, they will have you working from 6:30 a.m. until 9:30 p.m. at night. They don't give a fuck. Nobody is going to take care of your schedule and take care of your energy. They don't care because they only care about you for like, what they're going to get out of you. They don't think about you as like, you know, having a set schedule is important for at least my like stream time and for my client time. So like I have certain times where I'm like, I'm going to be in front of the camera, in front of the computer from this time to this time, performing or whatever. I mean, I don't consider it as a performance because I don't feel like I'm putting on a character, but like, I still got to present, and presenting, even though I love it and I love like streaming, I love teaching, it's a lot of energy.
It is, yeah, it is.
Yeah, and so I have to budget it. So I try not to be. I'm still trying to find that balance with streaming because I love it, and there's certain types of streams that are more relaxing to me than others. Video game streams are much more relaxing to me. That's my self care. That's my like, we're just gonna hang out and chill and play video games. And the streams that actually help me to grow the most are going to be my fitness streams. Like people like those so much more. They get so many more views. I get so many more
Same.
follows. Yeah,
Hmm.
but like you can't be doing that all the time. Setting a schedule of like I have set Tuesdays, Thursdays, and then a weekend day, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday that I promise I will be on.
Hmm.
But then everything else for me is like is we'll see if I have time, we'll see if I have energy. And that's kind of like what I've
Hmm.
had to do is set that expectation for my community because I love to play video games. I love to get the extra workouts in, but I also got a business to run, you know?
Yeah. Right.
I'd say the hardest thing for me has been in the last couple years balancing my work and setting my work hours. Now that I have like boundaries on what times I'll actually work with clients, the harder part is setting boundaries on my back end work, like work on the website, content
Yeah.
creation, editing
Yeah.
videos, creating videos. That is the harder thing to kind of set into like this is the time I'm going to work on it every week, every day, or something like that. That's really difficult. I'm not good at it, and I
It's hard.
often will
It's
burn
really
myself
hard.
out on those. So I just kind of,
Hmm.
I sort of have adopted like I follow Grace Lever, who's like a online business coach. She coaches other female business owners who are coaches.
Uh-huh.
Her model with like, you know, big growth projects is she calls them like 90-day sprints. I do more like 30-day sprints where I'll work really, really hard or I'll push really, really hard for 15 to 30 days on one project and just kind of like pound it out.
Bang. Yeah.
And then chill and relax over a couple of weeks before I tackle the next big thing. And you know, it is rough balancing it with streaming, and it's not so much of a problem now. Like we've talked about this before. This person doesn't really come around anymore, but you know, there was one person who was helping me a lot with my stream like setup and the technology and stuff, but they started kind of becoming a little bit demanding where they would like give me a lot of shade and kind of shame me when I wasn't able to meet up with them or like have a phone call with them because he's like, I want to fix this on
Hmm.
your stream. We keep saying we're going to fix this, but this meeting never seems to materialize. And it's like, bruh, like I will reach out to you when I can. I don't have time right now. My
Yeah.
work comes first. You know, like
Hmm.
my paying
Yeah.
clients come first always. I think this person finally got the message, but like sometimes streaming can be very demanding and you kind of have to put boundaries on that as well. It's easy to get overwhelmed with streaming because like people want you to play millions of different games. They want to see more of this thing, but they also want to see more of that thing, and it's like I don't know. How do you decide like what kind of streams you're going to do?
For me, I would say one of the reasons, so I stream way too much. I stream almost as much as I like work my full-time job. And I will say that my job is not very demanding. So like I work my hours and sometimes it's busy and sometimes it's really slow. But I don't really work a lot of overtime, only during like special events, and there's not a lot of times when I'm called in or have to do like extracurricular stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of like my 8 hour day. That's it. But I think one of the reasons like streaming a lot has been sustainable for me is because it's all stuff that I actually really like to do and want to do. And obviously, the fitness streams I can do with Joey. So it's kind of time for us also to hang out with our friends
Mm-hmm.
in the chat. And that makes it nice. It makes it like a little more sustainable to do all these to do like hours and hours and hours of streaming. I've gotten to the point where I need to prioritize like for my channel's growth. It's not my job, it's not my full-time job,
Mm-hmm.
but I do want the channel to grow. I do have aspirations of getting partner at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And to do that, like you were saying, like the fitness and health streams, you're where you get the most followers, like where you have the most interactions, like the best
Right.
viewership. And for me, that's also true. So I've decided that's the stream that I need to prioritize. Like a month ago, I would say we would cap the fitness stream at 3 hours exactly. We're not going to go over 3 hours, but
Right.
I've gotten to the point where if it goes longer, like that's fine. You
Mm-hmm.
know, if it goes so long that I don't have time to do a gaming stream in the evening, fuck it, fine.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
we don't have that many people show up anyways. It's just like to
Yeah.
hang out and
Yeah.
have a good time. But I need to prioritize like the fitness streams. And honestly, if at some point I am in a position where it looks like I could get partner
Mm-hmm.
just from the fitness streams, I will maybe stop doing other stuff
Mm.
for that time period, you know? So
Yeah.
you need that 75 viewer average. Like if we're at the point where the fitness streams are well above that,
Yeah.
because obviously average, you have to like kind of think about how many people are coming throughout. Like if we get to the point where the fitness streams are getting that kind of viewership,
Right.
but the gaming streams, the gunpla streams, the cooking streams is holding me back
Mhm.
for whatever 30 days.
Mhm.
I might end up just not doing those other things,
Yeah.
just to hit the mark for partner if
Yeah.
it's possible.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like not that I don't want to do that other stuff, but like
Right.
there's nothing stopping me from picking it back up afterwards,
Exactly. Exactly.
you
That's
know.
a really
So, but
smart
since we're not
strategy.
even, yeah, since we're not at that point, like I don't need to worry about it, and like those other things do bring down my average, but my average is not good enough even in the fitness streams by themselves to push me up to partner.
I think you're getting
But
there
just
though.
like
You're
in
really
my mind
close.
for future. No, 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 no.
No, 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 no.
I'm not really
I do
close.
think it's around the corner. I really do because like your numbers are definitely going up when I'm there. They're on average, it looks like you're getting into like 40, 50,
Yeah,
and that's
it's definitely, we've had like great growth, especially for the fitness stream, but even like other stuff, like the Gundam and the cooking streams specifically, we've had like really good growth.
yeah,
But I like maybe towards the end of like 2 years streaming, I could maybe see it happening. But
yeah,
at the same time, like I'm not going to do a bunch of wacky shit just to get
yeah,
it. You know,
yeah.
I feel like
Oh,
what we're
gotcha.
doing
Yeah.
now is like, yeah, is like a good thing to do, like a good way to like get there.
Hmm.
And me trying to like do other social media stuff is helping a little bit.
Yeah.
I do every once in a while get people like, oh, I came from your Instagram, I came from
Right.
TikTok,
Yeah.
and they become like strong members of the community,
Yeah.
and it's awesome. So I'm just like trying my best with the time that I have to
Yeah.
hit all the marks, but my main focus is definitely on Twitch
Yeah.
right now.
I think it's also so important to like be consistent too. I think at this stage, I think
And
we
be
both have a good
realistic
variety.
also
Realistic, yeah.
about your growth. Yeah.
Yes, realistic. I think both of us are growing pretty consistently. I mean, I'm happy
Hmm.
with my numbers, and I'm more than anything though. I try like you. I try not to look at the numbers during viewership, or during streaming. I try not to look at the numbers and see like how many people are there because I don't want to focus on
I
that.
that's fake because I actually watch it.
Oh, you
Like I
do?
have it up on my screen. I do,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. I always have. It doesn't bother me. But at the same time, I would not really recommend it for most people.
Yeah.
But I think it's more important, like even if you only have two people watching, if
Uh-huh.
your chat is busy, like
Yes.
that's what you should focus on. Instead of focusing
Exactly.
on the numbers, focus on your chatters and like
Exactly.
interacting with them and
Yeah.
building a good relationship with them.
Right.
That's, I think, the most important thing.
Yeah. And like that's what I'm here for and that's what I've been here for since the beginning was the companionship of chat. Because for me, like when I first started streaming, it was really just about like, this is something that is like I want to meet people doing stuff that I really enjoy. And I love when I started the fitness streaming, it's like it feels like I'm back in the gym with my buddies, and that's important to me. For me, working out was social. Even if I was like in my head and I wasn't really talking to people, it helps me so much to have other people around. I feed off that energy. And so like
Yeah.
having the
Me and
companionship of
Joey say it all the time. Like the chat is helping us get those gains because they shame us every time we don't do leg day.
exactly. Yep. Yeah, and I think I wouldn't show up as consistently for my workouts if it weren't for streaming because I know that you guys are looking forward to it, and I miss you guys. It's not just that I need to get a workout in. Streaming is also like I want to talk to my friends. I want to see how everybody's doing.
Hmm.
Like I
Hmm.
like that's my show is chat. I love people people coming in. I love to see people who've been away for a while and then they come back and it's like, what have you been up to? And I like to hear their
Yeah.
stories and everything. It delights me, and it adds something to my workout or to my gaming experience where it would be lonely, so streaming is awesome. That's what I'm here for, is just kind of the
Yeah.
interaction. The growth and everything is a bonus on top of it, which is kind of like, it's kind of like how in video games, in some video games, like you would play it even if there weren't like goals and stuff. Like Roller Coaster
Yeah.
Tycoon is one of those video games that I would like sandbox. I don't care about the scenarios and like the milestones and stuff, but you play for the milestones because I don't know, just like gives it something interesting. And for me, that's kind of how Twitch is. It's like I do this like for me, but like it's also kind of cool to watch it grow and like set goals and stuff, because it's just it helps to sustain it, make it like a sustainable thing, because it's not cheap
Yeah.
to stream
No.
well.
And in terms of like equipment and also in terms of time.
Exactly, it's not cheap. So I basically want it to be self-sustaining.
Hmm.
But even beyond that, it's just also it's an incentive for me to take good care of myself, and I feel like I've made some of the best friends like I've made in years through Twitch.
Me too. I've made so many like really good like actual friends
Yeah.
through streaming that I might never have met otherwise. And we
Yeah.
haven't necessarily like met in person yet, but
Hmm.
when the pandemic is over and we can travel again, I definitely have plans to come probably visit you,
Yep.
go to California,
Yep.
Kansas City. Yeah, for some reason we got a lot of friends in Kansas City.
Yeah,
It's
that's my
awesome.
plan too. This I like for me, because my business is also fitness. I like that the two are can interweave, because that also helps me to prioritize it, because it's something that I love and enjoy, but it also does help my business in many ways. Like, because I started adding the private live streams for my clients, because I was like, I really enjoy this live streaming thing, and it's a good way to create content and to teach. So I started incorporating that into my business. And now I'm like, well, we can give this as a sub perk, because it's something I'm already doing anyway. And
Yeah.
then I can use the recordings of those as social media posts, and so it's all like a little ecosystem that works together and kind of like interweaves and stuff. And that's where it can sometimes get tricky, because it's like the boundaries, and you kind of have to sometimes like step back and be like, okay, I'm gonna just take some non-worky work time, starting to feel like worky work, and we don't want it to feel like worky work. It's funny fun
Yeah.
stuff. But speaking of worky work, I gotta get ready for that class. Thank you everybody for joining us. This is so much fun. Have a good day, everybody. I'm gonna say bye bye.